The engagement banquet is only 3 days away, but my fiancé ignores every attempt I make to stop her. She insists on flying to High City to rescue her male secretary after he throws a tantrum and threatens suicide. Her assistant walks into the hospital room. Boss, we still can't get through to Mr. Shaw. Keep trying. Keep calling. Don't stop until he picks up. The busy tone echoes through the silent corridor until the automated message ends the call. Her brows knit together. Her eyes are filled with barely concealed anxiety. Assistant Shen sees it all, clear as day. Ivory has dark circles under her eyes. To save Dorian. They've been working around the clock for 3 straight days. Even someone like Assistant Shen, who's used to pulling all-nighters, feels lightheaded. Maybe you should rest for a bit, boss. I'll keep trying to reach Mr. Shaw, he adds cautiously. Mr. Shaw has a good temper anyway. Just pick out a nice gift on your way back and smooth things over. No need. Ivory glances down at her phone. Nothing but random push notifications, no messages, no missed calls. The last call was right before she boarded. We had plans. We were supposed to pick out engagement gifts together that day. I'd been looking forward to it since the night before. Even sent her a photo of the outfit I was going to wear, asking for her opinion. By the time I called, she was already about to board, but her mind was on Dorian. She didn't pick up. After that, not a single call from me. This is the first time I've gone this long without reaching out to her. She thinks I should be jealous, that I should be upset she left me behind, skipping the engagement banquet I'd waited so long for. But there's nothing. A wave of unease hits Ivory out of nowhere. Her fingertip hovers over my name for a long time. She can't bring herself to press it. She knows she wronged me this time. But Dorian once saved her life. She can't just stand by and do nothing. After all, it's a human life. She believes I'll understand. It's always been this way. I've never competed with Dorian for anything. Have I? Just then her assistant gets word from the family estate. Mrs. Pai has decided to go abroad on vacation. The family members who were supposed to attend the engagement banquet might not come after all. Ivory is thunderstruck. What did the old man say? The assistant's face darkens. The call came from the head butler. He didn't say it outright, but the butler is old Master Pai's right-hand man and mouthpiece. If it's coming from him, it means the old master already gave his approval. At the end of the day, Ivory is just an illegitimate daughter. Over the years, with my family's backing, she's firmly outpaced every other child in the Pai family and secured her place as the Pai heiress. Mrs. Pai has been grinding her teeth over it. A vacation abroad? Yeah, right. It's nothing but a calculated move to humiliate the Shaw family and drive a wedge between Ivory and me. Assistant Shen lets out a quiet sigh. He genuinely feels sorry for me. On the day of the engagement banquet, the fiancé's entire family can't make it. You'd be hard-pressed to find another case like this in all of Jing City. Ivory falls silent for a long time. Change my flight. I'll do everything I can to make it back to Jing City on the day of the banquet. Meanwhile, Haven, my last-minute engagement partner, has just arrived at the Soo family estate in Jing City. She's here to see Grandma Soo, who fires off a question the second she walks in. Where's Assistant Zhang? Haven's eyes dart away. Over the past few years, the rumor that Haven is into women has spread like wildfire. Even the Soo family has pretty much accepted it as fact. Grandma, who's obsessed with romance novels, believes it more than anyone. She practically treated Assistant Zhang as her granddaughter's future partner, with an enthusiasm that was downright terrifying. Who do you think I'm looking out for here? With that personality of yours, if Assistant Zhang dumps you someday, you'll be the one crying. Haven can only sigh. Having a trendy grandma means she's picked up all sorts of buzzwords too. Haven presses her temple. Grandma, she's just my assistant, and she has a boyfriend. You need to stop reading those trashy novels. Grandma is even more shocked. She's with you all day every day, and she already has a boyfriend. When are you going to bring someone home for me? At this point, even a woman, the Soo family would take it. Haven drops a bombshell. No need to look anymore. I skipped dating altogether. I went straight to getting engaged. I came home today specifically to tell you all. Grandma Soo's jaw drops. Engaged? Who? Can you even get a marriage license here? If it's not Assistant Zhang, could it be Elise? Haven rubs her forehead. Elise is the sole heir of the Ellsworth family. They guard her like the apple of their eye. Grandma frowns. Would they even let her marry into our family? Haven sets the record straight. It's a man, the youngest son of the Shaw family, Ashton. We're getting engaged in 3 days. Grandma Soo grabs Haven's arm and pinches hard. Does that hurt? Ow. Yes. Grandma practically vibrates with excitement. It's not a dream. My granddaughter didn't have a single man around her, and now a whole grandson-in-law just pops out of nowhere. I actually have a grandson-in-law. When did you say the engagement was? Isn't 3 days a bit rushed? Maybe push it back a little. The dowry isn't even ready yet. No, I need to check the storage myself. And she's gone in a flash. She finally has a grandson-in-law. She's not about to let them down. Not on her watch. Watching Grandma's excited silhouette disappear, Haven lets out a soft smile. In the main hall of the Soo estate, the whole family gathers around. Whispers fill the air as they start discussing the wedding. A middle-aged man speaks up cautiously. The surname Shaw, 3 days from now. Don't tell me it's the young master from Shaw Properties? Uncle Soo handles the real estate side of the Soo family business, so figuring out who I am isn't much of a stretch. Then something clicks and he blurts out, wait, I thought the Shaw family's arranged match was with that girl from the Pai family. Did you steal someone's fiancé? Now the Soo family isn't afraid of the Pai family, but snatching someone else's man is a little low, isn't it? What nonsense. Grandma Soo snaps immediately. You think Haven is some kind of bully? Like she'd just grab a man off the street? Uncle Soo shrinks back, not daring to argue. Who says anything about stealing? Haven leans back lazily in her chair, a carefree smile playing on her lips. It's called going after what I want. That's right, going after it, Grandma beams. So someone finally came for our girl. I didn't call you all here for small talk. We're on a tight schedule. We can't fall short on etiquette. Check the full list. Whatever's missing, fill it in now. At Grandma's word, the estate springs into action. The Soo family scrambles through the dowry list. Uncle Soo goes first. Why aren't there any overseas properties on here? I've got a vineyard in France. Perfect for the newlyweds' honeymoon. Aunt Soo jumps in right after. I just picked up a few sets of antique jewelry at auction. Add them too. Uncle Soo waves his hand. That sports car series. Comes in 5 colors. Fill in whatever's missing. In no time, the Soo family's dowry list piles up on the table like money is no object. Grandma grins from ear to ear, nodding away. Once the discussion wraps up, the family members file out of the estate one by one. That's when Grandma Soo notices something's off about her granddaughter. Haven's fingers fiddle with the bracelet on her wrist, a hint of a smile slipping through now and then. Grandma, I told Ashton you're not feeling well. That's why the engagement is being rushed. So don't blow my cover. You sneaky little brat. Grandma pretends to be mad, using your own grandma as a shield. If you don't say anything, I'll take that as a yes. Haven laughs and dashes off. Inside a high-end apartment, a silver-haired young man shoves the door open, fuming. Ivory, that heartless woman. She actually stood you up on your own engagement day. I told you from the start, that woman has no character, but you wouldn't listen. You just had to go all in on her. And that Dorian, don't even get me started. Back in college, a car nearly hit Ivory on campus, and he pushed her out of the way, that's it. A couple of scrapes. And he has the nerve to call himself her lifesaver. Slitting his wrists, please. I'm not buying that guilt trip act. You and Ivory grew up together. He's the one who wormed his way in, and now he's pulling stunts like that to milk sympathy. Jing City and High City are miles apart. If he really wanted to go through with it, Ivory would never make it in time anyway. He gets more fired up with every word. Over the years, his car, his apartment, his job, even his brother's job, all arranged by Ivory. No matter how much she owes him, there should be a limit to how far she goes to repay him, right? Ashton, it's not like every other woman on the planet vanished. If she won't do right by you, don't feel guilty walking away. If you trust me, call off the engagement. I'll set you up with someone better. I can't take this crap anymore. Calm down, I say, trying to ease him. Getting worked up over Ivory and Dorian isn't worth it. My brother rants until his throat goes dry, then grabs a glass of water and chugs it down. You know who I ran into at the airport on my way back? Ivory's parents. They took off on vacation abroad with the Pai twins. Forget a marriage alliance. Even at a rural engagement, the bride's entire family doesn't just not show up. Ashton, they walk all over you because you're too nice. They're doing this on purpose. If you can stomach even this, then whatever happens between you and Ivory from now on, I won't say another word. I keep my head down, my expression unreadable. I know Ivory has no sense of boundaries, arrogant, self-centered, not the right match. I also know the Pai family used illness as an excuse to go on vacation instead, a deliberate slap in the face to me and my brother. Our parents passed away. It's just the two of us holding up the Shaw family legacy. That's exactly why I need this engagement even more. I just switched my engagement partner. If I called off the engagement outright, the Pai family might take some heat, sure, but so would I. The Shaw family is already in turbulent waters. Who knows how many shareholders are just waiting to catch us slipping. I can't drag the family down. So, finding someone from an even better family than Ivory is my only option and my best one. Whether it's a slap in the Pai family's face, not my problem. Wait, what? You switched? My brother freezes. The person getting engaged to you tomorrow isn't Ivory. It's Haven. With betrothal gifts and everything, I say. The kind where both families sit down together. My brother's eyes go wide. The Haven? The one I'm thinking of? The one who outshined Ivory her entire youth? The one she's still bitter about to this day? What the? Is this some kind of revenge fantasy? My brother can hardly believe it. When Ivory finds out, the look on her face is going to be priceless. I never thought I'd live to see the day that my little brother would actually dump Ivory. At least it wasn't for nothing. The day of the engagement banquet, inside the Maybach. I sit in the middle of the back seat, watching the scenery blur past the window. The thought of meeting Haven's family in a few minutes makes my fingers tighten nervously around my phone. The screen lights up. A photo. In the photo, a woman is propped up in a hospital bed, receiving an intravenous drip, looking drained. I recognize Ivory instantly. A faint sting flickers through my eyes, even though I've already decided to let Ivory go for good. Just looking at this photo, my heart still jolts violently, leaving my chest tight and numb. What's wrong? My brother leans over. One look and he explodes. Those two pieces of trash. Why don't they just drop dead? My brother snatches my phone. The photo was recalled almost instantly, and a flood of messages follows. Oops, sorry. Sent that to the wrong person. By accident, Ashton. My brother's knuckles go white, veins bulging. That scheming little snake. It's nothing, I say calmly. He wants Ivory? Then let him have her. I block Dorian without a second thought. Not worth my time. On the other end, in the hospital room, Dorian realizes he's been blocked. The smug look on his face freezes solid. He's still processing when the door clicks open. Assistant Shen walks up to him. Sir, the boss is catching a flight back to Jing City today. Please focus on your recovery. Your work has been reassigned. Dorian clenches his jaw. A beat of silence. Then, in a flash, he switches to a look of wounded dejection. Ivory is leaving? I already slit my wrists. Even that can't make her stay? Then can I at least fly back to Jing City with her? Deep down, he knows, no matter what, Ivory is the best ticket he'll ever get. He's not about to let go that easily. A cold glint flashes in Assistant Shen's eyes. He thinks to himself, this is exactly what he was afraid of. Dorian pulling some stunt at the boss's engagement banquet. He tried everything to prevent it, but Dorian still managed to drag the boss all the way here. Assistant Shen stands up. Then please get your things ready. I'll book the tickets. Dorian curses inwardly. That damn Assistant Shen is always in the way. No matter how Dorian tries to butter him up, Shen never budges. Just wait until Dorian takes his place as the boss's husband. Shen will be the first one out the door. In the car rushing toward the engagement banquet, Diana fumes. Ivory, the Shaw family went way too far this time. Last time I visited the Shaw estate, them humiliating you was bad enough. At least you and Ashton are engaged. Practically family. Ivory leans back in the seat and drifts off without realizing it, her brows tightly furrowed. Diana turns to glance at her, her lips pressed into a thin line, a flash of heartache in her eyes, quickly pushed back down. Ashton must be having issues with Ivory again. Over the past few years he's butted heads with her, plenty of times because of Dorian. Give it 3 days tops, Ashton will cave on his own, and come crawling back to Ivory. Ivory opens her eyes. Has Ashton been in touch with you these past few days? Diana scoffs. No, you know how it is. He and I have never gotten along. Ivory stares at her watch and says nothing. They speed the whole way and finally arrive at the hotel entrance. A stately Maybach catches their eye. Ivory frowns. That car looks familiar. Diana's expression sours. Haven, again. This hotel has been booked out entirely for the day. Everyone coming and going is here for the engagement banquet. Haven has no connection to the Shaw family, and she's certainly not close with the Pye family. What is she doing here? And she's on some guy's arm. Isn't she supposed to be into women? Ivory sucks in a sharp breath and looks out the window. Haven strolls away, arm hooked intimately through the man beside her. All Ivory sees are their two silhouettes from behind. Staring at the two figures walking arm in arm ahead, Ivory's gaze turns dark. She hurries out of the car and rushes into the hotel. The main flowers for the banquet have been changed. They're not the white roses she loves. Ivory's heart plummets, like something is dragging it down by force. Her breath catches for a beat. The receptionist speaks up. Miss, did you perhaps get the time wrong? The engagement banquet is already over. They're cleaning up inside. He's puzzled himself. In all his years on the job, this is the first time he's ever seen someone show up for an engagement banquet after 2 in the afternoon. Ivory clenches both fists, brimming with disbelief. Assistant Shen steps forward. Considering the timing, the banquet has indeed already wrapped up. Perhaps we should head back first. Ivory doesn't know why, but the dread in her chest has been unbearable all day. I want to go inside and see. She pushes the doors open. The banquet hall is empty, every guest long gone. Nothing remains but vast sweeps of deep crimson roses, silently blanketing the entire venue. Like a grand farewell, no one waited for her. The white backdrop on stage hasn't been taken down yet. My name is printed right there, bold and clear. A single rose lies at her feet. She bends down and picks it up. She raises it to her nose and takes a gentle sniff. The scent is rich but unfamiliar, not the fragrance she knows. This variety doesn't seem to be a common one. The deep crimson hue paired with a velvet-like texture elevates what would normally be an ordinary red rose into something elegant and refined. This variety is called Black Baccara, not commonly seen. Assistant Shen recognizes the breed. It's not exactly rare either, but to gather this many fresh black Baccaras on such short notice, that must have taken serious effort. Diana loses patience. I thought they were some pricey breed. Ivory, everyone's already left. What's there to look at? Let's just go. Ivory gently strokes the rose. The edges of the petals have already started to curl. Did you tell him I was coming back? Assistant Shen adjusts his glasses. I messaged Mr. Shaw before we boarded. Ivory lets out a bitter smile. He knew I was on my way back. And still, he didn't wait. Ivory's vision blurs. She sways on her feet. Assistant Shen catches her quickly. Are you alright, boss? You skip meals to save time? It's just low blood sugar. The truth is, Ivory often gets so caught up in company matters that she forgets to eat. But when I was around, I'd make her simple meals at the office, day and night whenever I got the chance. It had been a long time since she last had low blood sugar. The busy signal drones again. After she checks her phone, the air inside the car drops a few more degrees. Diana can't hold back any longer. Ivory, you know how Ashton is. This isn't the first time he's thrown a tantrum over nothing. Just ignore him. If you ask me, you're the one who spoiled him rotten. You're not even married yet. And he has the nerve to ghost you for days. Marry him and he'll walk all over you for real. Assistant Shen puts in a word for me. Mr. Shaw had to prepare the entire engagement banquet on his own. It's possible he was simply too busy to check his phone. Diana fires back. Too busy for days to even glance at his phone? He didn't even have time to send one message? You're right. I'm the one who spoiled him. Ivory's expression turns cold. I admit I didn't handle things perfectly this time, but I had Assistant Shen notify him the moment I landed in High City, and I rushed back as fast as I could. Over a decade of history between us. Why can't he just understand where I'm coming from? And here I was thinking about making it up to him. I even found time to pick up a gift for him when I was already stretched thin. Looks like that's not needed anymore. She tosses the bracelet gift box forward. Send it to Dorian. If Ashton doesn't want it, plenty of people will. I'll be waiting for the day he regrets this. A ringtone cuts through the air. Assistant Shen picks up and, Assistant Shen, is the boss with you right now? She is. What happened? The company's in trouble. The color drains from Assistant Shen's face and his hands start trembling uncontrollably. The car speeds back to the company. Diana fumes. He is just some vocational college dropout. If his younger brother Dorian hadn't once saved Ivory, he never would have gotten anywhere near Pi Corporation. How dare he pass off inferior goods as the real thing and tamper with the deal between Pi Corp and Lee Corp? You have to understand, Pi Corporation's two biggest business partners right now are the Shaw family and the Lee family. Now that this is blown up, even if we can somehow salvage the deal with Lee Corp, Pi Corporation's reputation is already trashed. The tens of millions he skimmed could destroy Pi Corporation's very foundation. Assistant Shen hangs up and turns around. Boss, Mr. Lee's office isn't picking up. The partnership between Pi Corp and Lee Corp has always hinged on me. The Lee family and mine go way back. They've never made things difficult for Pi Corporation in business. Ignoring calls like this? That's a first. The materials over the past 6 months have all been compromised, and they chose this exact moment to blow up. Mr. Lee might very well be venting on my behalf. He was against bringing in Dorian and his brother from the start. Ivory pushed it through single-handedly, overruling every objection, and elevated them both. And now, the marriage alliance between the Shaw and Pi families is hanging by a thread, and a major company deal has blown up in her face. Assistant Shen can't make sense of it. The boss is clearly a smart woman, so why does she lose all judgment every single time Dorian is involved? Thinking about those two brothers, a pair of leeches, he feels a wave of helplessness like never before. Tears slide down Ivory's face in silence. Back when she made Garrett the warehouse manager, every word of opposition still rings in her ears. Assistant Shen had warned her, "Boss, Garrett simply doesn't have the capability to serve as warehouse manager. If you want to train him, let him start from the ground up." Veteran staff weighed in too. With Garrett's credentials, he'd barely qualify for a security guard position here. Putting him in a position this high overnight might not be wise. Even Diana, who never once pushed back against her, spoke up for the first time. "Ivory, are you out of your mind? He got expelled from school for stealing. Putting him in charge of the warehouse is like letting a fox guard the hen house." And what did Ivory say back then? She thought I opposed it because I didn't like Dorian, letting personal feelings bleed into business. She thought Assistant Shen was too rigid, judging people by their credentials instead of their potential. The car hasn't fully stopped before Ivory and Diana rush into the company building. Assistant Shen closes the car door and lets out a sigh. The entire company is scrambling to clean up the mess, and Ivory still asked him to deliver a gift to Dorian. In the conference room, Assistant Lin from Lee Corporation has been waiting for a long time. Ivory's assistant says timidly, "Assistant Lin, would you like some coffee?" Ms. Pai and Assistant Shen aren't back yet. Assistant Lin doesn't even glance over. She waits in cold silence. The minutes tick by. Assistant Lin smirks. "Is the coffee here free or something? Or is Ms. Pai too important for a lowly assistant like me to bother seeing on time?" The young assistant beside her tears up from the scolding. "Ms. Pai is already on her way. Just a moment longer, please. Stop crying. People will think I'm bullying you." Ivory Pai. How exactly did she climb her way to the top? What kind of people does her office even hire? On one end, you've got Dorian, a secretary who's constantly falling apart, taking sick leave that the CEO personally attends to. On the other end, a fragile, little assistant who can only pour coffee and turns on the waterworks at the drop of a hat. The assistant's tears start falling, drop after drop. I'm sorry." Ivory finally arrives and promises to give Lee Corporation a proper resolution. A resolution? Lee Corporation wants far more than words. Ivory's fingers clench hard. The papers crumple in her grip. Then how does Assistant Lin think this should be handled? Terminate the partnership, compensate Lee Corporation for every cent of its losses, issue a public apology and pay the penalty fee. Ivory tries to negotiate. "If I'm not mistaken, Lee Corporation hasn't used a single one of these materials yet. Why don't we meet in the middle? Lee Corp keeps this batch of materials. We'll refund half the original payment. That way Lee Corp saves on costs, and we avoid the hassle of shipping everything back. A win-win." Assistant Lin laughs right then and there. "Ms. Pai, you really know how to work the numbers. Then why don't you take a guess? Why did we sit on those materials for 6 months without touching them? Because they're useless. That's why. Lee Corporation has always operated at the high end. Every material is hand-picked, using knockoffs to pass as premium goods. That's corporate suicide. The terms I just laid out are the only solution. Ms. Pai, you have 3 days. I suggest you think it over carefully." With that, Assistant Lin snatches the documents from Ivory's hands. "In 3 days, if Lee Corp does not see enough commitment from Pi Corp, we'll settle this in court." Assistant Lin walks out without looking back. Ivory forces composure and calls after her. "Are you sure you have the authority to handle this?" Assistant Lin fires back coldly. "Oh, so Ms. Pai is aware that this partnership was made possible by Ashton alone. Then have you ever considered that every favor has an expiration date? He vouched for you in front of Mr. Lee, and you can't even keep your own people in line, letting them tamper with the shipments right under your nose." Assistant Lin raises an eyebrow, her tone dripping with provocation. "Whether I have the authority is my business. Ms. Pai needn't worry about that." She turns on her heel and leaves. Ivory stares at the closed door, eyes locked on it. Her chest heaves violently. She grabs the cup from the table and hurls it across the room. The entire company is lit up. Every department has been called in to work overtime. Exhaustion and resentment are written all over everyone's faces. Someone finally mutters, "This is Garrett's mess. Why should we be the ones cleaning it up? Isn't Dorian his brother? Why isn't he handling this? This is years' worth of warehouse records. Even pulling an all-nighter won't be enough." Someone whispers back, "Keep it down. If Dorian or Miss Pye hears you, you'll be in for it. Haven't you heard? Miss Pye skipped Mr. Shaw's engagement banquet. For Dorian's sake." Someone else chimes in, "Seriously? That's rough for Mr. Shaw. Tell me about it." The young master of the Shaw family, getting outranked by some gold digger from the sticks. My brother catches every whisper as he comes to find out what is going on. He curls his lip into a smirk and steps into the elevator. Just now, Ivory was still claiming to be Ashton's fiancée, and even the CEO's assistant is this out of the loop. How interesting. In all of Pye Corporation, not a single soul knows that I'm already engaged to the daughter of the Soo family. Meanwhile, Assistant Lin curves her red lips into a smile. Things just got interesting. In the car on the way back, Haven leans her head against my shoulder. I'm not sure when she started. A strand of her hair brushes my neck, carrying a faint, soft scent. "You woke up early today, didn't you?" she says gently. "If you're tired, close your eyes for a bit. I'll wake you when we get there." I glance down at my aching, swollen feet. I'm not really tired. My feet just ache a little. A foot soak when I get home should fix it. I wore brand new shoes all day, just to look sharp, after hours of standing in them. My ankles are almost blistered. Without a word, Haven bends down. "Don't move, let me rub it for you. It won't hurt." I freeze for a second. Heat creeps up my cheeks. It's not about whether it hurts, it's just that I'm embarrassed. Haven lowers her head, her fingertips pressing gently on the swollen skin around my ankle. My entire body goes stiff as a board. I manage to squeeze out a sentence. "About today. Thank you. So, when do you want to go register the marriage?" A few seconds of dead silence. The moment the words leave my mouth, I want to slap myself. Don't get the wrong idea. What I mean is, I've held up my end of the deal. Now it's your turn to keep your promise. Haven lifts her eyes to meet mine. "I know you're a man of your word, Mr. Shaw." The faintest curve touches the corner of her lips. No misunderstanding. I was feeling perfectly composed a second ago, but the moment Haven's gaze sweeps over me, I feel a pang of guilt creep in out of nowhere. But I can't lose face, even if I'm losing my cool. I'm not flustered. If I were flustered, I wouldn't have brought up the marriage registration myself. "Oh, really? I was thinking, since we barely know each other, rushing to register might be too much for you, young master. Seems I underestimated your adaptability. My mistake. It's almost 4 already. Too late for today. Is the young master free tomorrow?" Part of me wants to say it doesn't have to be this soon, but then I remember I'm the one who started this. All I can do is grit my teeth and swallow. Barring anything unexpected, yes, I'm free. When we get out, she says, "Your feet are hurting. Let me walk you up." I freeze for a beat. My heart picks up for no reason. Thanks. Every time I'm alone with her, my brain and social skills both flatline, so I make up my mind to keep my mouth shut. I follow Haven in silence, stepping on her shadow as we walk. The apartment I bought isn't very big, but it sits in a high-end complex right in the city center. The landscaping is beautiful, a peaceful pocket tucked inside the bustling city. But ever since I started working at Pye Corporation, I've been leaving before dawn and coming back after dark. No time to appreciate any of it. Now, strolling casually with Haven beneath the tree shadows, all the restlessness in me somehow settles down. I'm soaking in this rare moment of peace, and don't notice when Haven steps up to my side, until she speaks softly. "You really like it here." I press my lips together. I love Jungnan-style gardens and courtyards, carved beams and painted rafters, pavilions and towers rising among the courtyards, a place where you can grow flowers and keep fish, brew tea and watch the plum blossoms. A traditional Chinese courtyard is perfect, except it's insanely expensive. I turn to look at her. "What made you ask that all of a sudden?" "Nothing special. The Soo family just picked up a new piece of land. Haven't figured out what to build on it yet. I'm looking to you for inspiration." I can't help but smile. Is this really the difference between ordinary people and the ultra-wealthy? With a mindset like that, no wonder she's loaded. I get back home. I have to admit, Haven's massage actually worked. At least the soreness has eased up a lot. I grab the gift bag, take it back to my room, and put everything away. Then I open the closet to pick out my pajamas, planning to soak in a hot bath first. But when I see the entire closet filled with nothing but black, white, and gray, my fingers tighten around the door handle. The truth is, my face suits bright, vivid colors much better. I can pull them off, and they complement my skin tone. Thinking back carefully, it all started after Dorian showed up. Dorian was fragile and helpless looking, always needing someone to protect him. So whether it was Ivory or Diana, who grew up with us, every time he played the victim, they gradually took his side. Meanwhile, Haven pushes open the club door. Dim lights and pounding music greet her. A tall, gorgeous woman is already stretched out on the sofa waiting. Haven takes a seat across from her and casually pours herself a glass of red wine. "Cut the act. We're friends here," Haven says. Elise swirls her glass and laughs. "Everyone out there thinks we're a couple. You went and got engaged. Can a girl be a little heartbroken?" Haven doesn't even look up. "I'm a taken woman now. Behave yourself." Elise scoffs. Zero sense of fun. "I can't believe someone like you actually landed Ashton." Elise takes a sip of wine. "So spill. How'd you snag him? All these years, not a peep out of you. Even I thought you, of all people, genuinely had zero interest in men. Then you go straight for the biggest catch." "Ashton, The heartthrob of the foreign languages department back in the day. The line of girls chasing him could stretch from the department all the way to the school gates, Haven replies coolly. It wasn't snagging, it's called fate. Elise nearly chokes laughing. Oh, so fate is when you deliberately go to a bar on the other side of the city from where he lives. Then out of 1,000 people, you just happen to walk right past Ashton? Man, you two were really meant to be. You are something else, if it weren't for me. Refusing to believe you'd ever sacrifice yourself for the family, and working backward from the answer to find the evidence. Checking the bar's security footage, I'd still be completely in the dark, but that decisive, clean execution, that's pure Haven. Wait for the perfect moment, one shot, one kill. I have always been good at it, in every way. Haven drains her glass in one go, her eyes gleaming with undeniable confidence. She glances at the crowd having fun in the main hall. They've been pretty free lately, huh? Why is everyone suddenly here? Elise rolls her eyes, grabs the bottle and tops off her own glass. If you'd spare even a fraction of the energy you pour into Ashton for the club, you'd at least know they came here for the livestream event. We run this studio together, remember? So why is it that from start to finish, I'm the only one pulling my weight around here? Haven's gaze flickers. She doesn't deny it. Elise leans in with her glass. Come on, one more drink. No more for me. Wouldn't want Ashton to worry. Haven's lips curl into a smile. You all keep going. Put it on my tab. You just got here and you're already leaving? Elise pouts. Too bad Haven could totally take her in a fight. Otherwise she'd smack that smug grin right off her face. Haven laughs and gets up, giving Elise a little wave. She turns to leave the club. Elise calls after her. You know, it's been forever since we've gamed together. Fans are always begging online for us to make a comeback. I know a real comeback isn't happening, but we could use this event as a chance to give our longtime fans a little treat. Haven reaches the doorway, and her steps suddenly falter. An image of me curled up in agony flashes through her mind. A single tear quietly dampens the corner of her eye. I might be pretty busy for a while. Not planning on it for now? The number of eye rolls Elise has done today probably exceeds her lifetime total. Busy for a while? She mutters. We literally run the same company. You think I don't know whether you're actually busy? Who does she think she's fooling? She's just rushing home to pamper her man, ditching her friends for a guy. Typical. Meanwhile, back with me, after my bath. I'm running my fingers through my still damp hair and grabbing a book to kill some time before bed. My phone screen suddenly lights up. I look down, the screen's glow reflecting off my face. It's from an unknown number. Just one short line and a photo. Like the new watch Ivory just gave me, the photo doesn't show a face, just a wrist wearing a Patek Philippe. No question, it's from Dorian. Last time I blocked Dorian on WeChat. This time he's just texting from a random number. I let out a cold scoff. This guy just won't quit. I can't be bothered with a manipulative snake like Dorian. I swipe out of the message and open WeChat out of habit. Right away I spot a message from Assistant Shen sent an hour ago. Mr. Shaw, there's a problem with the PA Corporation and Lee Corporation joint project. The Pi Lee project has always been my responsibility. Everything was fine when I met with Uncle Lee at lunch today. What could have gone wrong? I tap my phone and reply, what happened? Assistant Shen seems to have been waiting for my response. Almost the instant my message goes through, his typing indicator appears almost immediately. It flickers a few times, but all he finally sends is, just a minor issue. You just need to get Mr. Lee to take a call, that's all. So he doesn't want to tell me the full story. I open the company group chat. Everything looks peaceful in there. Just people slacking off and shooting the breeze. Clearly Ivory has kept this under wraps. For her to go to this much trouble covering it up, even hiding it from me, I can already guess who's behind it. Dorian, right under Assistant Shen's watch, may pull his little stunts constantly, but he can't touch any major projects. Most likely it's Garrett, that good-for-nothing brother of his, who stirred up trouble. Garrett is the warehouse manager after all. My heart tightens. The position itself isn't that high, but if someone actually tampers with things there, the damage can be catastrophic. I grip my phone tight, just thinking about how Ivory is still trying to protect Garrett even now. Makes me want to leave Pi Corporation more than ever. Ding, another message comes in. Assistant Shen didn't get a reply from me, so he sends another message. If it's just a minor issue, then it can wait until I'm back from leave. One line, and I brush him off. I put my phone on silent and settle into the lounge chair with my book. You want my help, but won't tell me the truth? Nice try. That's not how this works. Besides, judging by Uncle Lee's mood today, this probably won't harm Lee Corporation. So let Assistant Shen and Ivory figure it out themselves. Back when they brought Garrett into the company, they were all talk about how great it'd be. Now that things have gone south, let him deal with his own mess. Ivory's situation is far worse than I expected. Assistant Shen is sweating bullets. Boss, our company's available cash flow is nowhere near enough to cover the gap on Lee Corporation's side. 6 months of payments, 800 million, plus the penalty fees on top of that. Even if we rob Peter to pay Paul, we're still short by half. For some reason, Lee Corporation is dead set this time. Assistant Lin, who's always been easygoing, completely flipped and turned hostile. Won't even discuss extending the deadline by a few days. 3 days means 3 days. If they don't have the money in 3 days, they'll expose Pi Corporation's scandal of passing off substandard goods and file a lawsuit. Once word gets out, every other partner will come for Pi Corporation, and at that point, this won't be something a few hundred million in refunds can fix. Once the reputation is destroyed, any company thinking about partnering with Pi Corporation will think twice about it. Making a comeback. will be next to impossible. Ivory slumps against her chair, as if the last ounce of strength has been drained from her body. Still can't reach Ashton? Assistant Shen hesitates. Technically, yes. Ivory frowns. What do you mean, technically? You told me not to tell Mr. Shaw about Garrett for now. So Mr. Shaw said whatever it is, he'll deal with it when he's back from leave. Ivory's voice drops. Message him. Tell him to come to the office. Right now. But he's already stopped replying. And he's not picking up calls either. Ivory grits her teeth, snatches up her phone, and dials the number herself. The phone rings and rings. No answer. Ivory's expression darkens by the second. What on earth is he doing all day? Assistant Shen hesitates but speaks up anyway. Mr. Shaw has a lot of client contacts on his phone. Under normal circumstances, he keeps his phone on 24/7. He was always easy to reach before. Ivory grabs her bag. Boss, where are you going? There's still a mountain of problems here. We're still hiding all of this from the shareholders and the chairman. Ivory's gaze turns ice cold to see what Ashton is actually doing. Suddenly, her phone rings. An unexpected flicker of hope. Assistant Shen's eyes light up. That must be Mr. Shaw calling. Ivory steps aside, takes a deep breath, and hits answer. Assistant Shen thinks to himself, Mr. Shaw might ignore me, but he cares about boss so much. Seeing her call, he'd definitely ring back right away. A hope Ivory herself doesn't even realize is hiding in her eyes. But the name on the screen hits her like a bucket of ice water. Is it Mr. Shaw? Assistant Shen asks. Ivory doesn't answer. She replies in a flat tone, understood. I'm on my way. Meanwhile, out on the balcony, I only meant to air dry my hair, but somehow I doze off right there in the lounge chair. When I wake up, the sky has gone completely dark. The only light on the balcony is the faint glow of distant neon. I grab my phone and check the time. It's past 10 at night. There are several missed calls, mostly from Assistant Shen. The last one is from Ivory. Even the most recent one was hours ago. Probably still about the Lee Corporation issue. For Ivory to actually call me herself. Garrett's mess must be pretty serious. I spot on the shelf nearby a pack of rice noodles I bought a while ago. Might as well cook it up. I pick up my phone to set a timer for the water, when an incoming call suddenly pops up. It's Ivory. My first instinct is to hang up, but then I remember, I still technically work at Pi Corporation. I hesitate for 2 seconds, then pick up. A beat of silence on the line. Ashton. Even through the phone, I can picture Ivory's stone-cold expression. I give a half-hearted reply. The moment Ivory speaks, her voice is impossibly hoarse. Sensing my cold attitude, she pauses for a moment. I'm getting impatient. Is there something you need? If not, I'm hanging up. Why didn't I answer her calls? Why not a single message these past few days? Why, when I knew she was coming back for the engagement ceremony? Why didn't I wait for her? Why? She kept trying to call me. I didn't pick up. Didn't reply either. The moment the call connected, Ivory had 100 questions she wanted to ask. I was busy. Phone was on silent. Didn't see it. That's the exact excuse Ivory always used on me. Today I finally threw it right back at her. I know you're still upset, she says. This whole thing is my fault. But personal feelings shouldn't interfere with work. The Lee Corporation project has always been your responsibility. The engagement banquet is over. Your remaining leave is cancelled. Come to my office tomorrow. Tomorrow won't work, I say calmly. I have plans. Ivory takes a sharp breath, and her voice spikes. Ashton, I'm talking about serious business here. There's a limit to how much of a tantrum you can throw. Can you stop being so unreasonable? I let out a dry laugh, but it doesn't reach my eyes. Dorian chimes in from beside her, simpering, Ivory. Ivory ignores him and cuts straight to the ultimatum. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. If I don't see you at the office, then don't bother coming in ever again. She hangs up. Never have to go to the office again? Sounds perfect to me. I was still a bit torn about going to register the marriage tomorrow, but after Ivory's little threat, now I absolutely have to go. Meanwhile, Haven hasn't been idle either. She's sitting in her study, dozens of property listings spread out in front of her. Her assistant sifts through them again and again, finally picking out 2 with great care. Boss, please take a look at these 2. One is a modern Chinese-style villa, the other is a traditional Jiangnan-style courtyard house. Both match your requirements. Haven fiddles with the bracelet on her wrist. The spark in her eyes visibly brightens. Jiangnan garden style, she murmurs to herself. Her gaze lingers on the panoramic garden photo for several seconds. This courtyard was a coming-of-age gift from her late grandfather. A 3-courtyard traditional compound. It was once a Qing dynasty official's residence, styled entirely after a Jiangnan classical garden. This one. Send someone to clean it up tomorrow. The assistant gathers the files and slips out of the room quietly. The door clicks shut behind her. Haven slowly sinks into her chair. She's been running nonstop all day, and now she's up late browsing houses. Even dead tired, she still wants to give me the best. She wonders if this one fits my taste. Her gaze rests on the property deed, but her mind has already drifted far away. She hadn't planned on registering the marriage this soon, but she found out Ivory is back in Jing City. Even though Ivory isn't the right match for me, she and I still share years of history. Old feelings have a way of resurfacing face to face. Haven doesn't want to gamble on whether I'd have second thoughts after seeing Ivory. After sending the message, she feels like a single word seems too cold. She quietly adds another line. Get some rest after you eat. After sending it, she opens the food photo I shared earlier, zooms in for a closer look, and saves it to her favorites. Then she exits the screen, turning the phone in her hands and murmuring softly, after all these years, his taste still hasn't changed. The next morning, 7 o'clock. Years of routine wake me up right on time. I get ready and head straight downstairs. I deliberately come down about 10 minutes early, but Haven's car is already parked outside. Haven circles around to the driver's seat and gets in. She buckles her seatbelt, taking her time. Have you eaten? She asks. Not yet. Haven glances up at me, wearing an I knew it expression. She reaches over and pulls out a bag. Soup dumplings and soy milk. Pick these up on the way. Try them and tell me if they're good. I take the bag. The moment I open it, that unmistakable weedy aroma fills the entire car, instantly makes my mouth water. We arrive early. It's not a holiday or anything, so there aren't many people at the marriage registration office. The paperwork goes through without a hitch. The moment I watch the stamp press down onto the page, there's a bittersweet pang in my chest, mixed with a sense of quiet finality. Holding this palm-sized red booklet, I'm officially Haven's husband now. Turns out, not marrying Ivory isn't as painful as I thought it'd be. On our way out of the registration office, the parking lot exit is blocked by a young couple's car, while we wait for them to come move it. Want to take a photo? Haven pulls out her booklet, pats her phone, and glances at the one in my hands. I watch her snap 3 shots in a row, then pick the best one. When I see her open her social media, my scalp prickles with alarm. Does this woman have any idea how many followers she has? Haven raises an eyebrow. You don't want me to post it? I'm about to say it might be too flashy, but then I remember. The reason Haven agreed to the engagement in the first place was to have a husband on paper, to fend off her family's pressure to marry, and to put business partners at ease while shutting down industry rumors. So this marriage is supposed to be as high profile as possible. Besides, it's just a photo of the marriage certificate cover. It won't affect me much. Go ahead and post it. Haven notices my hesitation, visibly suppressing her emotions. Her fingers pull back from the screen. I clearly see the light in her eyes dim for a split second. If you don't want me to, I don't have to post it. It's fine. Sunlight falls on Haven's wrist, her bracelet scattering tiny sparks of light. Her knuckles on the steering wheel are turning white. It hits me right then. She's afraid I'll say no. I quickly say, I never said I didn't want you to. You can post it. Under that accusing yet hurt look of hers, I feel like a total con artist who tricked her into this marriage. I'm the one who came to her for help. Now that my problem is solved, it's Haven's turn. And here I am dragging my feet, taking the deal and then getting cold feet. Haven doesn't look up, afraid I'm just saying what she wants to hear. You really can post it, I say again, firmly this time. Only then does she slowly lift her gaze. The light in her eyes flickers back to life. I can really post it? Post it, right now, I say without hesitation. Haven dips her head, fingers flying across the screen, moving so fast like she's afraid I'll change my mind. She pairs it with the photo she picked earlier. Okay, posting now. Haven hits send, and the corners of her lips curve up before she can stop them. As expected, almost the instant it goes live, notifications start flooding in non-stop. Even though Haven retired from gaming years ago, her fan base is massive and still highly active. The second the post goes up, comments pour in from all over. I was already bracing myself for fans to backlash, but to my surprise, Haven's fans are completely focused on the wrong thing. Instead of caring about who she married, they're way more curious about what kind of people could actually put up with her. I scroll through one comment after another. I steal a glance at Haven beside me. So this is the real Haven, but I clearly remember back on the campus confession board, Haven's whole image was the untouchable ice queen. Maybe I've been lost in thought too long, because Haven spins the steering wheel, and the black Bentley glides perfectly into a curbside parking spot. She glances at the playful comments on her phone, understanding exactly what I'm thinking. Are you thinking I'm a little different from what you imagined? A little. Haven suddenly leans in close, her eyes locked right on mine. Then do you want to get to know the real me? I stare at this woman, inches from my face. My heart skips a beat. I nod, dazed. Haven holds out her hand. Pinky promise. I stare at the hand she's extending. My brain kind of short-circuits. I haven't done a pinky promise since I graduated from kindergarten, but Haven's slender, elegant fingers, for someone who's a sucker for nice hands, the temptation is lethal. My head's spinning, and before I know it, my finger hooks around hers. Pinky promise sealed, just as soft as I imagined. Haven's eyes curve into a smile. Since you agreed, let's start with gaming. Our club has an event coming up in a few days. You're coming with me. I'm still basking in the lingering warmth of touching her hand. Then her words suddenly register. My eyes go wide. Gaming? What gaming? Just as I'm about to ask for details, my phone suddenly rings in my pocket. I pull it out and glance at the screen. It's Assistant Shen. Way to kill the mood. Probably calling to give me grief. Mr. Shaw, where are you right now? Boss is absolutely furious. I'm on leave, I say flatly. Work stuff. I'll get back to you once I'm at the office, Assistant Shen. Mr. Shaw? Assistant Shen sounds desperate now. Mr. Shaw, you know how boss gets. I'm sure you don't want boss showing up at your door, right? I go silent for a second. Fine, I got it. Rather than letting Ivory storm over to my place and cause a scene, I might as well go to the office myself. Good chance to grab my things while I'm at it. I turn to Haven. Can you drop me off at Pi Corporation? The car goes dead silent. Only my voice hangs in the air. The car speeds along, but the atmosphere has frozen solid. I can't explain it, but Haven seems a little upset. She's still wearing the same expression and keeping the same posture, but the energy around her has completely shifted. She's probably bothered by Ivory. After all, the whole thing between me and Ivory was all over the place before. After agreeing to be with Haven, I should be cutting ties with the past and keeping my distance. But here I am, on the very day we got our marriage certificate, rushing off to the office to see Ivory. Haven has every right to be unhappy. I'm going to Pi Corporation strictly for work, I say seriously. I can promise you. From now on, I'll keep my distance from Ivory. I'll never bring any embarrassment to the Soo family. Haven looks at me long and hard. She doesn't say a word, but I keenly catch the tiniest, most secretive curl at the corner of her lips. If I hadn't been watching Haven's face so closely, I probably would have missed it entirely. A memory from college drifts into my mind. Diana's take on Haven. A woman like Haven looks all prim and proper on the surface, cold as a nun, but deep down she's the most innocent one. Just a little smooth talking and she's yours. I didn't buy Diana's theory back then, because during college, the guys chasing Haven could wrap around the campus 3 times over, but in 4 full years, not a single one managed to win over this Ice Queen. Now I'm starting to believe it. She actually seems pretty easy to coax. We arrive at Pi Corporation. The receptionist spots me from a distance, her face lighting up with relief. Director Shaw, you're finally here. Assistant Shen has been asking about you all day. I nod. Got it. Thanks for letting me know. Ding. The elevator doors slide open. I step out and push straight through the office door. Assistant Shen is in the middle of chewing out some employees, his face stern. The moment he sees me, his expression floods with pure relief. Mr. Shaw, you're finally here. Boss blew up. These employees leaked company secrets. Boss wants to give them 3 months' pay and cut them loose. You didn't try to talk her out of it? The executive assistant position. Even if we find replacements right away, they won't hit the ground running. Fire these people. And what, you expect Dorian to carry the entire secretary office? We all know what he's really worth. Nobody knows that better than Assistant Shen. Assistant Shen smiles bitterly. You know how boss is. I'm afraid we'll need you to put in a good word. I let out a cold laugh. Great. I'm being set up as the fall guy again. Send me to the front lines to take the full blast of Ivory's rage. I knock on the CEO's office door. Get out! Her voice explodes from inside, seething with fury. The second I push the door open, a cup of coffee comes flying straight at me. It clips past my ear and smashes on the floor. Coffee splatters all over me. Ivory sees it's me and her face shifts. Why is it you? She opens her mouth, as if to apologize, but swallows the words before they come out. Dorian, leave us. Don't mind him. Dorian nods, takes his sweet time getting up, and strolls toward the door. As he passes me, he tilts his head and flashes me a mocking little grin. Back in the old days when he provoked me like this, even if I kept my composure on the surface, my heart would bleed. But today I feel absolutely nothing. What did you need me for, boss? The joint project between Pi Corporation and Lee Corporation has a problem. You already know about it, right? The Lee Corporation side of the project has always been your responsibility. I'm handing this over to you. Any objections? Boss, can you at least tell me what went wrong first? If the problem is within my scope, I'll handle it. The warehouse shipped the wrong goods. It's not a big deal. Just give Mr. Lee a call and get him to extend the deadline. I'll make sure he gets a satisfactory resolution. Ivory knows that, if I step in, Lee Corporation won't be a problem. At the very least, for my family's sake. Mr. Lee wouldn't push things to the extreme, actually leaking this to the media. I pause. Boss, you must be so busy. You forgot the warehouse isn't under my jurisdiction. For this kind of situation, you should be looking for warehouse manager Garrett. If it were really a minor issue, Assistant Shen and Ivory wouldn't be hounding me like their lives depend on it to get me back here. Putting it together with how, at the engagement banquet, Uncle Lee asked me whether Ivory and I had really broken up. His intentions aren't hard to figure out. Pi Corporation is definitely in the wrong. But Uncle Lee is also using this as leverage to push back against Pi Corporation, to have my back. At a time like this, there's no way I'd sell out Uncle Lee, just to bail Ivory out, and betray the man looking out for me. This project was your responsibility to begin with. Something went wrong, so I'm asking you to handle it. What's the big deal? And it's not like you don't know Garrett. He doesn't know the first thing about anything. The impatience on Ivory's face is exactly the same expression she wore every single time we fought because of Dorian. That same sense of entitlement. All my years of holding on and holding back. What a naive, ridiculous joke. So even you admit, boss, that Garrett doesn't know the first thing about anything. Then why back then? Did you push him into such a high position? Ivory's voice dips low. Are you blaming me? All I'm asking is for you to make one phone call to Mr. Lee. It's a simple favor. Since when did you become so petty? I'm just stating the facts. When you wanted to hand the warehouse over to Garrett, everyone told you to think it through. You abused your power for personal gain, and pushed it through anyway. Now that things have gone wrong, you should own the consequences. As for the project, I can't help you with that. I came here today to let you know. I'm giving up the Director of Business position at Pi Corporation. I was brought in on a special appointment. It never went through HR, so leaving doesn't require a formal resignation. I just need to notify you, that's all. What did you just say? Ivory's eyes go wide with shock. You don't want the director position? Then what do you want? The executive secretary role? After all these years, you're still going after Dorian. Every chance you get, you try to push Dorian out of Pi Corporation. Ashton, can you please stop making a scene? I'm so tired of this. You already have everything. Why do you have to compete with Dorian? If I fire him and clear a spot for you, how is he supposed to make a living? I watch how worked up she is. My voice just gets calmer. Ivory, what I mean is, I'm leaving Pi Corporation. Ivory's expression freezes. A few seconds pass before she speaks. Have you thought this through? Walking out is easy. Getting back in won't be. Her voice rises with every word. There has never been anything inappropriate between Dorian and me. How many times do I have to say it before you believe me? I look after Dorian because he saved my life once, so I treat him like a brother. You're my fiancé, and you'll be my husband one day. If you can't even understand that, Then even after we're married, our marriage probably won't last. Then in your opinion, boss, what exactly counts as crossing the line? I laugh coldly. His job, the house, the car, the clothes, all under his name. Even Garrett's job. Which one of those didn't you arrange for him? Is it only considered crossing the line if I catch you in bed together? Ivory's eyes redden. Ashton, you're going too far. You've already done the worst of it. You think I can't say a few words about it? All these years, every time Dorian called, how many times did you bail on me? I bet you can't even count them yourself. As for fiancé, don't insult the word. I turn and walk out of the CEO's office, leaving behind one final line. Whatever we had, it died the moment you abandoned me, and ran off the high city for Dorian. It's been over since then. Ivory trembles all over as if she cannot believe what she just heard. Tears stream down her face, shattering the last shred of her composure. Ivory thinks she should say something, but I've been far too unreasonable this time, completely ignoring the bigger picture. She needs to give me the cold shoulder, make me sweat for a few days. She bites down hard on her lower lip, fighting to keep from crying out loud, but her eyes are already burning red, nothing left in them but bitter resentment and fury. She bolts to her feet and sweeps every file off her desk. The little teddy bear I gave her years ago tumbles off the corner of the desk and shatters into pieces. Assistant Shen stops me at the door. Mr. Shaw, did things work out with boss? All sorted, I say with a smile. I've settled things with Ivory. I don't bother explaining further and keep walking. Assistant Shen panics and jogs after me. What about the assistants? Did you bring it up with boss? No, Assistant Shen. Whether it's the warehouse issue or the secretary office issue, none of it is my problem anymore. From now on, everything related to Pi Corporation has nothing to do with me. I quit. Assistant Shen's face goes chalk white. How could Mr. Shaw possibly resign? He's supposed to be the future husband of Pi Corporation's head. If he leaves Pi Corporation, where could he possibly go? At the turn of the hallway, I run into Diana head-on. She raises a brow and smirks. Well, Mr. Shaw finally graces us with his presence. I give her one blank look, say nothing, and walk right past her. Diana grits her teeth in rage. Did you see that attitude? He's not even Ivory's husband yet, and he's already acting all high and mighty. Sooner or later he'll push away whatever love Ivory has left for him, walking around with a stone-cold face all day. Not an ounce of charm. He deserves it when Ivory ditches him for Dorian. News of my resignation spreads through Pi Corporation like wildfire. Less than half an hour and the entire company knows. Some employees can't hold back their tears. The whole floor feels like the end of the world. Only Dorian's lips quietly curl upward, the glee in his eyes impossible to hide. Diana senses something is off. What happened? What's going on? Mr. Shaw resigned. What? Resigned? The color drains from Diana's face bit by bit. Her voice is trembling. Then what about Ivory? Assistant Shen stands there, face ashen, and points toward the CEO's office. Diana's heart drops. She pushes the door open and walks in. Files are scattered all over the floor. The little teddy bear lies there quietly, as if abandoned. Diana stands in the doorway, her lips quivering, her voice barely holding together. Ivory, Ashton's gone. What about Lee Corporation? What about it? Ivory says, ice in her voice. You think I can't survive without him too? No, of course not. Diana waves her hands in a panic. Ashton's the one who can't get by without you. But the Lee Corporation project won't wait. A full day of the 3-day deadline is already gone. Where on earth are we going to come up with 800 million? Maybe you could swallow your pride a little and coax him into coming back first? Deal with Lee Corporation and then teach him a lesson. Ivory's fury finally boils over. Get out!